Let's walk through how to change the stitch length, width, and needle positions on the Singer Quantum Stylist 9960. So when you turn the machine on, you start off with stitch number 1. If you find yourself with different needle positions, so right now, center needle position, the dot in the center. If you want your needle to be left or right, what you're going to do is first select the needle and zigzag picture. So that's the button right below it, touch it, and it will come up. So in a straight stitch, this will just show a little picture with the arrow to each side. As you move it to the left, you'll see the needle is actually traveling to the left. Look at all those needle positions. I love that it's actually so accurate here as we go to stitch. So again, you can move lots of different stitch widths as we go. Now, if you want it back to normal, which did you notice? Normal's when the number is dark in color. If you just push clear, boom, back to the center. We could have also just touched the stitch again, and it would have also put the needle back in the center. Now here's something fun, is you can actually change the needle position while you sew. So it's actually moving to the side of the foot that I had it moved to while it's sewing. So that is never a problem to do any of these adjustments while you're in motion. So I can clear it here, back to the solid number, or I could have pushed the stitch to get us back to the normal settings. Then over here, stitch length. So normally stitch length 2.5, that's a nice middle length. Let's see how long it'll go. I can actually do it while I'm sewing. I find that I can go as high as 5 millimeters long. Better turn around here so we can do a little bit more stitching. And I can reduce it down to, and you see the numbers get kind of a smaller increments down to 0.8, so it's little tiny stitches. Push clear and it goes back. So let's talk stitch width. We would need a zigzag stitch or some stitch that would go side to side. So I started by putting the zigzag on. Let's choose this zigzag and straight stitch button. And now instead of needle position, you notice that our stitch width starts at 5 millimeters wide. So we can narrow that down, and we can make it a little wider up to 6. And we could also make our stitch length closer together. Ooh, that's actually a satin stitch. Hold on. So I'm shortening our zigzag. And then this will all depend on how thick your thread is. So as we take a look, ooh, look at that. See how we changed both the width and then we started to change the length. So you can dial in a perfect satin stitch, like so for applique, while you are changing those settings. Could I go any lower? Oh yeah, we could have gotten that a little lower yet. So you can really dial in based on what you're working with. So if we're working with any of the decorative stitches, we can find a decorative stitch, go into those same areas where we can change the width, make it narrower, change the length. Well, and it will tell you if you can't. So I can't make it any longer, but I can make it like a little bit more compact. And again, I could test it out and see what it looks like as I start to manipulate some of the stitches that are built into this machine. So just remember, turning the machine off and on will get you back to normal. Going back to the second button down is the regular stitch number 1. The first button is the needle in the far left needle position. So if that's where you prefer to stitch, that button is ready with stitch number 2 associated with it.